Some of the largest investors in the video game industry are the Saudi Arabian Public Investment Fund, NetEase, and Tencent. Tencent is its own special case, though, because they have tried to invest a little in a lot of different companies, and now we're hearing that apparently they are in talks to sell their shares in some Japanese studios, even if that means taking a major loss. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, this industry is absolutely massive. In 2025, video games made over $200 billion, so it's no shocker to see why so many companies want to invest, why so many individuals want to make way in this scene, and it can be very profitable if what you are investing in is able to connect with audiences and make money. And that isn't really the case for Tencent. Yes, they do have some massive successes, but they also have some absolutely massive losses. And it looks like maybe they're sort of giving up. So the Chinese publishing giant Tencent is reportedly in talks to exit some of the investments it previously made in Japanese game development studios. Tencent, the world's largest games company, has invested in more than 800 developers worldwide, including stakes in Epic Games, Larian, Krafton, as well as shares in Ubisoft and many others. It also owns Riot Games and Supercell, and this right here is a very, very big keyword: Chinese publishing giant, because Tencent is a CCP entity, and if the CCP no longer finds this big value that they once did, we are not only going to see Tencent pulling out of these different industries and out of our entertainment. Now, I don't think that they will. I don't think that Tencent is magically going to disappear tomorrow, and I don't think that NetEase is going to just magically disappear tomorrow either, but it is something to certainly keep an eye on. According to a report by Bloomberg, however, the company is looking to exit a number of these investments, including those involving Japanese companies. The article specifically cites Marvelous, the Tokyo-based studio behind the Monster Hunter Stories, Rune Factory, and Story of Seasons games, as one of the investments Tencent is in talks to back out of. Now, when I think of Marvelous, I think of very different games. I think that these are not bad, don't get me wrong, but my mind instantly goes to No More Heroes and also Senran Kagura. I absolutely love the Senran games, would love another high quality one, but I don't think that we will ever get that much fan service and fun in another one of these experiences if one day they try to magically revive it, because they know that it can make them money. Tencent is said to be currently evaluating its minority holdings in a number of studios, and in some cases is willing to sell its stake back to the original management team, even if this means taking a loss. Now, I think they did spread themselves a little bit thin, invested a little in a lot of studios. They thought that it was going to look better for them. They thought that, oh my gosh, we're going to be able to control all of the entertainment coming out. But a big issue is that a lot of Japanese companies are no longer truly Japanese at their core. What they have done is copied Western studios, and they are Western Studios 2.0, and they are pushing the same politics, narratives, they are falling into the same traps that Western companies did, and gamers used to support Japanese games because they were looking for something new and unique and fresh and different, but now you have to be cautiously optimistic when Japanese games are announced, and you can't blindly trust Japanese experiences. And that's why people have now started supporting Chinese games more. Maybe they want to invest more in their home market, and South Korean games more. I really hope that South Korean studios do not fall into the investment issues that the Japanese did. That is for certain. It says, though, that it doesn't mean Tencent is looking to step away entirely from investment in the Japanese video games industry. However, the report stresses that the company is still assessing which of its investments still promise to be high performers, and there are are some that I cannot imagine them actually walking away from because they've done so good over the years, like From Software, developer of Elden Ring and Dark Souls, a major minority investment there. Katakawa, Japanese entertainment conglomerate with game divisions, Marvelous as it specifies. Then you have things like Platinum Games, as the article before had mentioned, Epic, Krafton. So there is a lot that they are invested in, and I can't say I'm very surprised to see this happening, right? Tencent does make a boatload of money off of video games. They are not magically backing out of it, but at the same time, when you see that they are wasting so much money, billions of dollars, on garbage entities like Ubisoft, they do need to make some changes. In 2025, Tencent, of course, invested 1.16 billion euro for a 26.32% minority stake in Ubisoft's new subsidiary Vantage Studios, valuing it at 3.8 billion euro. It was a binding agreement in March 2025. The amount was the 1.16 billion euro in cash. Vantage Studios now has been built around Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Rainbow Six. We know that those next games and the continuations aren't apparently doing good. Some of them are even in development hell. You've got Assassin's Creed Hex, which has been completely and utterly rejected by gamers so far. And there are even some gamers who are now taking to social media and saying, honestly, hearing that Tencent is in talks to offload these game studios is a big fat W. Tencent saw the future of Japanese games development and are jumping ship. They should just invest in shiny studios more since they've been pumping out bangers. If they make Marvelous make a game like Senran and Kagura again, why not? The problem is that it probably is still going to be dumbed down to a certain extent. Oh no, whilst I'm happy to see Tencent own less actual game developers, I don't want anything bad to happen to Marvelous. And I agree, but Marvelous is a shell of the studio that they once were. They no longer are as special as the days of old. Marvelous went full retard with Tencent or not. Let's see if anything will change. So they're trimming fat like Xbox and like many companies right now. We have heard that Ubisoft is going to go through layoffs and that Sony's going to go through layoffs. Xbox is going through layoffs. EA is going through layoffs, and Tencent is no stranger to that. Looks like Tencent's pruning its gardens, and Marvelous is the bonsai getting repotted back to its roots, and I do genuinely hope that that's the case, but I think that it would be extremely hard to come back from the situation they now find themselves in. It's not like those original Senran Kagura developers are there, and artists and creatives are there. They would have to bring in brand new developers, and we know that a lot of those people are politically motivated. We know that over the years, a lot of their games have stumbled, and I really would love for this to be a super magical and positive situation with rainbows and sunshine, but I just find that very hard to believe at this point. So yeah, it looks like Tencent is at least pulling out of some of their investments and saying, you know what, enough is enough. This hasn't worked the way that we've expected, but this doesn't mean that they are magically going to back out of the industry completely. And while Tencent has done some good in this space, they are still a absolute behemoth who has done a lot of damage. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this important and informative, make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.